Hello, friend. I'm here with another video. It's me, Tankawubli. That's my name. Don't question it. Alright, so today's video is gonna be another improvised, nice and relaxing and cute video about animals. I just have the story very faintly laid out, as I do with most of my videos. It's about a little mouse called Sophie. She lives out in the woods. She has a little house that is a huge mushroom, or it's huge to her anyway, because she's such a little mouse. It is a big forest with tall pine trees. Some pine cones and twigs and some leaves are scattered across the floor of this forest. But the sun is shining very nicely and lighting up the beautiful mushrooms and flowers that manage to grow down here. And it's very quiet and peaceful. You can hear some birds in the distance. And Sophie does what she does every morning. She gets out of bed, grabs her knitting supplies, walks out the door, take a deep breath, and just enjoys the outside air. She has a beautiful white and light brown fur. She likes to knit a lot, and she says to herself out loud, "What a wonderful day to knit." And a bunny hears this, a white bunny, and the bunny feels inclined to mention that Sophie says that every day, and that's all she does, is knit and knit and knit. And the bunny says she should get other hobbies. instead of just doing that same old, same old. And then the bunny jumps away, and Sophie sits there outside her house, wondering. She's sitting there wondering if that's really all she does. She eats food, have some biscuits and tea sometimes too. But she says, I guess it's all I do for hobby. It's the only hobby I have. I've knitted so many sweaters and hats and mittens and whatnot. So she takes off and leaves her knitting supplies behind to get a new hobby. She walks around the forest, trying to find a place, someone that can show her a new hobby. She hears something in the distance. It's a very beautiful and loud, echoing voice singing a tune. A very beautiful tune. And she walks towards it, and she finds that it comes from a big and majestic moose. She walks up to this moose, and the big moose sees the little mouse, and she says, "Oh, hello there, little mouse. Sorry if I disturbed you with my singing." And the mouse says, "Oh no, it was beautiful. I really enjoyed it. I'm thinking I also might wanna sing too." And the moose says, "Well, that sounds wonderful. My name is Carrie, and I love singing. I love singing so much. I can teach you a thing or two." And she sings a simple tune and says, "Maybe you can repeat this little tune for me." And Sophie tries it, and she hits the notes somewhat well, but her voice is so tiny and so far from being as powerful as the big moose. And Carrie tries tries to help her and repeats what to do and tells her to sing from deep inside your stomach, from your diaphragm, and do some deep exercises. But no matter how hard Sophie tries, her voice doesn't seem to be the best for singing, and she gets kind of filled and annoyed with Carrie's big booming voice. It becomes so loud after a while of her trying to teach Sophie how to sing. So, as Sophie realizes that music might not be for her, she tells Carrie politely and then leaves as the big moose sings her songs, and they faint and become more quiet as Sophie goes along. She says maybe something else, something more exciting, something that I can do with my body rather than with my voice. And she walks and walks, and she comes up. She sees a big tree house with a lot of planks and stuff loosely fitted together, and it's a bit overgrown with moss and whatnot. There's definitely some wear and tear on this house. And around this house and on top of it are 3 monkeys. One brown monkey that says, "Hello, little mouse, I'm Jimmy." One red monkey that says, "Hello, I'm Lisa." And a yellow monkey who says, "Hey, my name is May." And they are climbing around and jumping around. And they ask, "What are you up to, little mouse?" And she says, "I was just looking around for a new hobby that I might find out here." And the monkeys, they say, "Oh yes, we have quite the hobby for you. We enjoy climbing all over the trees, up and down, back and forth. That's what we do." And they do seem to have a lot of fun jumping from branch to branch in this big oak tree. And between the other trees around here, they do pirouettes and jump back and forth. And Sophie looking a little scared, says, "Okay, show me how I do what you do." The first monkey, the brown one, named Jimmy, shows how to jump from branch to branch and helps her out as she jumps. "Look, there you go," Jimmy says, jumping up and up. But when she jumps to one branch, it breaks. She jumped to a really thin one, but she gets caught by Jimmy. "Don't worry, I got you. Let's try again." But Sophie is too scared to try again. So the second monkey, the red one, Lisa, says, "Okay, well, jumping from branch to branch is Jimmy's favorite activity, but I enjoy a bit more peaceful of a thing. I like to swing back and forth between branches." And the little mouse gets shown how to swing back and forth. Just swing back and forth. But she gets a bit dizzy and a bit seasick from the back and forth, so she has to stop. And the third monkey, the yellow one, May, she says, "Don't worry. What I like to do is just climb up really high in a tree and just sit there and watch the beautiful scenery." And the little mouse does so. She climbs up with May up to the top, and there they sit at the top. But Sophie notices as she watches over the landscape. And down to the bottom, to the ground, it gets a bit scary. She's thinking about that she could fall, and she starts shivering and says she wants to go down, and May helps her and brings her down. So none of those hobbies fit for little Sophie, and she says, "I guess I'll just go be on my way." And she waves goodbye with her little tail, and the monkeys do so too, and they enjoy their fun activities. And then she keeps on searching. She walks and walks, and she sees a peculiar looking black and white friend. It's a badger with its nose and eyes looking at the ground carefully, looking around all over. And this badger doesn't notice when Sophie comes close. The badger is so focused. So Sophie says a little hello, and the badger says hey. And Sophie says, "What are you up to? I'm looking for a new hobby. Maybe you're doing something fun." The badger says, "Oh, well, let me introduce myself. I'm Nova, and I just love jewelry. And now she sees that the badger also has a big bag, and she opens it up, and she puts on a bunch of jewelry, and she gets all blinged out. She looks like the fanciest badger in town. And she says, "I know this is a bit of a crow's hobby, but I just love jewelry. And sometimes the crows drop some jewelry down here as they have snatched it from some place far away. They drop it here in the forest, and I'm trying to find all of them. Collecting jewelry is my favorite hobby." And the very blinged up badger, looking very snazzy with beautiful watches and necklaces and earrings. She has multiple earrings in both ears. They're very beautiful. One looks like a beautiful beetle with a green shell, but the shell is actually a gemstone. One looks like a snake. One of her bracelets look like a snake curling around one of her little legs. And most of it is so filled with gold and have very different kinds of styles and things, because she finds what she finds and can't really choose a specific style. But that's okay, because this badger likes all kinds of jewelry. One of the necklaces have a cogwheel symbol on it in gold, and she has glasses, very fancy glasses on her now, sunglasses, which she has to put above her eyes because she can't look for jewelry with sunglasses on. She needs the best vision. And as they walk and walk, little Sophie's starting to get cold and bored of not finding anything, and she asks, "When are we gonna find something beautiful like those things you have?" And Sophie says, or the badger says, "Oh, don't worry, we will." Or she says, "Oh, it can take a while, sometimes hours, sometimes days, maybe even weeks if I'm having a bad month. But eventually you will find something beautiful, and it's just so much more rewarding when you've spent so much time looking for it. And Sophie kind of understands, because when she take a long time knitting something, when she finally gets something finished, it's so rewarding. But at least you're getting somewhere all the time with knitting, and with searching for jewelry and collecting it. It just takes such a long time with nothing happening. So she's on her way again, a bit distraught, with her face hanging down, because she can't find a single hobby that she likes. Not a single one. But as she walks defeated, a little hedgehog sees her and asks, "What's the matter, dear?" And Sophie says, "I've been trying all day to find a hobby that I enjoy. And, well, another hobby that I enjoy, I only have the boring old same hobby." And the hedgehog introduces herself. She says, "Well, I'm Hedgie, and you are?" She says, "Sophie." "Well, Sophie, I see that you've been trying to find something you think is fun, but something else that you think is fun, but were you not enjoying your knitting hobby?" And Sophie says, I am enjoying it really much. I'm enjoying it a lot," she says. "But I was told that it was just so boring of me to do the same thing." But the hedgehog says, Oh, little you know, my hobby is reading," says the hedgehog, Hedgie. "And it's all I do. I read day out and day in. And it's so much fun, and it brings me so much joy. And I've tried different hobbies and whatnot too. But I always end up coming back to my thing that I like to do. And there's nothing wrong with being boring if it's not boring to you. A lot of people think I should go out and do more stuff with my body instead of just living in my fantasy worlds with my books. But I'm okay with seeming like I'm boring. And you should be too. Because knitting seems like a wonderful hobby you can have. And as long as you enjoy it, you don't need to find another one. If you like it, then it's good. And Sophie perks up. Yeah, I guess I should go home and knit. Or I guess I have to do it tomorrow, it's getting late. I guess I just wasted a day today. And Heiji says, well, no, that's not true. Did you not make friends today while trying to get hobbies? And Sophie says, yeah, I guess there were some very lovely people I talked to today. And they were so kind. And it was interesting seeing what they enjoyed and seeing their perspective. So even if I don't want to do it again, I guess doing it once was still interesting. And Heiji says, and now you know, now you've discovered that knitting is such a great hobby for you. You've rediscovered it and you've learned it. That you don't need anything else. So, I think today is a win, and you can go and knit tomorrow. I will. And it was nice. And it was nice meeting you. And Sophie then goes with a smile, with her tail flopping up in the air, and she's whistling as she goes home to her little mushroom house. And there she creeps down into her bed with a big smile, excited for the knitting that she can do tomorrow. And that's the end of Sophie and her adventure. I hope you enjoyed. And you can now, if you're not already asleep, you can just drift off to sleep, or continue with your day if this was just a break. I hope you have a good time. Goodbye or good night. Have a wonderful